Now, Nick Fuentes, for those of you who don't know, he's a Nazi. That's not me reading between the lines or using hyperbole. He's quite literally a Nazi. I always bring up to people how it was a few years back now. He had a debate with Alex Jones about Hitler. And it was Alex Jones who took the position that Hitler's bad, and he would argue Hitler was based. And so, he's sort of out and proud with it, right? At the same time, him and Ye are friends now. He was helping Ye with his presidential campaign. By the way, how'd that work? How'd that go? Did he do okay? In between his fucking binging on nitrous and getting cucked, how'd he do in that election? What were his numbers again? So anyway, and Kanye is the most proud Nazi in the country. So anyway, the guy's a Nazi. And but he's in a weird place because he's a Nazi, which is repugnant and disgusting, but also he has this show, and he's got quite a few followers, the Groypers, they call them. And as I've pointed out to you guys, I've really seen a shift in right-wing media lately where the Daily Wire era is over. Ben Shapiro is washed. Jordan Peterson is washed. And you see the rise of these other characters. One of them is Nick Fuentes with his overt Nazism. Then there's Candace Owens, who's the new conspiracy-leaning conservative commentator. And then you also have Asmongold, who holds down the low IQ Trump supporter lane, right? So there's a rise of those folks. Well, Nick Fuentes took advantage of the fact that Jordan Peterson did that Jubilee debate. It was 1 Christian versus 20 atheists. And Jordan Peterson got draxed, bro. I mean, he got his ass cheeks waxed in front of the world by a bunch of teenage liberal atheist debate bros. And it was glorious to see. And as I told you guys when we talked about that segment, we're really in a new era. The vibes have shifted, and there will now be a return to a politics and a commentary of bluntness and honesty and straightforwardness, right? Because what Ben Shapiro and Jordan Peterson delivered, it's a politics of obfuscation and deflection and say a lot of words without really saying anything, right? And here's Nick Fuentes, and he's going to give you his thoughts on Jordan Peterson humiliating himself. Let's watch, and then I'll have a lot to say about it.
It seems like the left-wing debate bros have won. I can't be the only one that saw Charlie Kirk get blown out on that point. Jordan Peterson get blown out on that point and realize the end is nigh for the conservative grifter. It's over. Because everybody that has put these people up on a pedestal, Peterson and Charlie Kirk have all the answers. If I hear a left-wing argument, I go to Charlie Kirk and Peterson to hear why that's not true. They've got all the answers. They're the masters of knowledge. Their weakness in both cases is their hypocrisy. And that's where a liberal can pull at that string and unravel the entire grift. You say you're America first, but you support this genocide in Gaza and our aircraft carriers and foreign aid and all that over there. You're a traitor. You're corrupt. You've sold out our country to the highest bidder, and history will remember it that way. You've got nothing. You've got nothing. If the young, energetic, thoughtful young people that are going viral and blowing up on TikTok, if they're on the other side, if they're on the left, that spells a lot of trouble for the right wing.
Look, part of this, I would say, there is a hint of jealousy in what Fuentes is saying here because he feels like I should have been the one. It should have been my era. My style of commentary should have dominated right-wing politics, not Charlie Kirk, who's a fraud, Jordan Peterson, who's a fraud.
You know, they want to show up to the Charlie Kirk thing and get their signed MAGA hat or something. It spells the end for them. If Ben Shapiro and Jordan Peterson and Charlie Kirk can't annihilate the SJWs anymore, then what can they do? Because you have to consider that these conservatives, they do these intramural debates for a living. They do this professionally. Jordan Peterson is, I think, in his 60s or 70s. He has a PhD. He's a university professor with decades of experience with the clinical practice. He's a psychologist. And he's debating 20 liberal kids. And when you're in a room with 20 liberal debate bros, 20 liberal semantic pedants who are going to get you on every little thing, I mean, that they're masters of the gotcha, there's nowhere to run.
They're not masters of the gotcha, Nick. Perhaps they're just correct. Perhaps those 20-something or teenage liberal atheists were just correct. One of them went after Peterson because he brings up the story of Amalek in the Bible and the genocide, and God says, even kill their infants. And he's like, Is this a good book to base your morality off of? And Peter's like, well, it depends what you mean by morality. And it depends what you mean by based off of. I can't quite say. There's a lot of bloody stuff in the past among human beings. And he just couldn't, he couldn't be direct. He couldn't be honest. He couldn't be open. Why? Because the Bible is horseshit. Because maybe if you're going to create a moral code based on something, you could take one afternoon and on one page write a better moral code than you'd get from reading through the whole Bible. Yes, half of it is Jesus being good and hippy-dippy and loving and altruistic. That's great, and I love the Christians who embrace that part. But the other half is genocidal and bloodthirsty, and it's full of a lunatic ideology and philosophy. And so maybe just don't go to that book when trying to get your morality. Maybe base it off of something more modern, more intellectual, more reasoned, right? Everybody has a better, just intuitive sense of morality than you could ever get from reading a book from thousands of years ago, right? Any rando on the street, you could say, here's a sheet of paper, write down, forget 10, write down 20 things that are rules for how people should act. It's going to be better. It's going to be better. So they're just right, Nick.
Who are going to get you on every little thing. I mean, that they're masters of the gotcha. There's nowhere to run. You're in a fluorescently lit warehouse with 20 liberal debate bros, and your entire life is about to be hydraulic pressed by facts and logic, and you can't fucking cry either. You can't cry your way out of this one. This isn't Piers Morgan.
He goes on to say, I watched a longer clip, and he goes on to talk about, like, the future is me and Candace and Andrew Tate. Candace Owens just did a sycophantic interview with the grapist Harvey Weinstein. Okay? Her brain is oatmeal. Let's be serious. She abides by one rule: get the most eyeballs on me possible. Be a contrarian asshole and get the most eyeballs on me possible. Literally the same day I saw this clip where he says him and Andrew Tate are the future, Andrew Tate was just hit with 21 counts, a 21-count charge in the UK for grape and human trafficking and other things. Sex trafficking. The same day, oh, we're the future. Oh, look at that. With a bunch of charlatans and criminals. Look at that. Really? Andrew Tate? And you, let's be serious here, he is right about one thing. Him and Ahmed Gold are the future of Republican commentary. But what does that say? It says you guys are cooked. Because he doesn't understand the power of the Ben Shapiros and the Jordan Petersons. The power was that they actually didn't just come out and say it, right? Because if they actually come out and say the things they support, Ben Shapiro would be literally cheerleading genocide, which he kind of does sometimes, but it would be every word out of his mouth would be, the billionaires are oppressed and give them all the money, and also Gazan babies are Hamas, and let's bomb them all. And Jordan Peterson doesn't even know what the fuck he believes. He's just like word salad in his head 24/7 where he talks a lot and he's never actually saying anything. But that was their power. Their power. Yes, they're not blunt. Yes, they're not direct. Yes, they do this highfalutin thing where they pretend to be more intelligent than they are. They hit you with a word salad. But that was appealing to people because they're kind of saying it without saying it. But if you just come out and say it, sometimes it's like, oh, that's actually really fucking ugly and not what people want. And so to your point, you're the future. Well, yeah, you are the future for a certain Groiper Nazi percentage. But I got news for you. You're not going to get over 50% of the fucking country to become card-carrying Nazis, Nick. You're not going to be able to do that. And so, if anything, really, it's probably Ahmed Gold who's more the future of right-wing commentary. Because like I said, he boils down Trump support to its lowest common denominator. He's just like the idiot who's got like a dead rat in the background and hasn't showered in a week and a half. And he's just giggling watching a video of Trump owning the libs and going, based. That's really where this train is going to end, bro. That's where it ends. Is, oh shit, it's the biggest cult members in the country, the lowest IQ people in the country, the Kool-Aid drinkers. Those are going to be the only ones who remain when Trump follows through with his destruction of the economy and destruction of the country and war with Iran and all these different things. So, in a sense, he's right. Now, this is their era. It's more about Fuentes and Ahmed Gold and Candace Owens than it is about Jordan Peterson and the Daily Wire. But that also is going to go fucking belly up super quick because the real future is liberalism and leftism. The real future are those atheist liberal debate bros that you just saw destroy Jordan Peterson in front of the world. They'll be out in the media soon. They'll have their TikToks. They'll have their YouTube channels. They'll have their shows. That's where the eyeballs are going to go. The eyeballs are going to come here. The eyeballs are going to come to people who are direct, straightforward, honest, but also have some humanity and some empathy and some altruism and want a system that helps everybody and makes our lives better. I know, what a crazy idea. Make our lives better. You're a Nazi. By definition, you want to exterminate some ridiculous percentage of the population or expel them from the country, right? I'm sorry, bro. That ain't ever going to be 50% plus one. It's not happening. It's not happening. But I do enjoy that the girls are fighting. I do enjoy that they're at each other's throats. I do enjoy that you're watching the MAGA base crumble into a million pieces. That, as I said, they're a victim of their success. Now, Trump has the White House. Republicans have the House. Republicans have the Senate. They have the courts. And when you look at what they actually want to do, you look at what they're doing, you go, oh, this is the worst thing I've ever seen ever. How could anybody ever have supported this? When you see them cutting pediatric cancer research, as Elon Musk did, cutting Meals on Wheels, as Elon Musk did, destroying the anti-scam police, the CFPB, as Elon Musk did, firing our top nuclear safety official for no fucking reason and then having to beg for that person to come back, as Elon Musk did. You look at a robber baron coup, raising taxes on the bottom 90% while cutting it for the top 10%. You look at warmongering with all these different countries, Canada, Mexico, Iran, Gaza, Venezuela, Yemen, Somalia, etc., etc. You look at all of that, everybody's going to hate everything all of you have ever stood for. So yeah, they're washed. I agree. It is your moment on the right. I agree. But you'll also be washed in short order. There is no doubt about it. Because it's actually true. Those liberal atheist debate bros, they had Jordan Peterson in a logic chokehold. And this is what's coming now. This is what's coming. A logic chokehold for the entire fucking right wing. Regardless of where they are on the spectrum. Regardless of the differences in their commentary, right? Is it going to be a neocon warmonger hyper-capitalist like Ben Shapiro, or is it going to be a fucking Nazi like Nick Fuentes? You're both cooked, bro. You're both cooked. But fight away. Fight away. It is glorious. I love it. But it's at the point now where even other figures on the right can't pretend like, oh, Jordan Peterson actually did good there, right? They can't pretend it. Just like how Sam Cedar went on Jubilee and destroyed a bunch of Republicans, and then he defeated them so thoroughly that you had right-wing Twitter accounts posting Sam owning the Republicans, not realizing, wait, Sam's actually the left-winger, and he's owning Republicans. They thought, oh, Sam has to be a right-winger because he's like owning them, so he's got to be a right-winger. No, you're all goofy, you're all silly, you're all idiots, we're right, you're wrong, and now you can't hide. You can't hide. Everybody can see it. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.